Kareem Hunt didn't get traded, and that's a good thing.
What's the expectation for the rest of the season?
Let's have a conversation.
It's TMDE Sports.
Damn right. What up, Facebook and all the social media networks is TMDE Sports. We talk about everything that's going on in the sports world and our beloved Cleveland Browns. Now, wow. Love the cheers. We got some very special guests, but before we get to that, my man Pete Barker is all the way in the building from the UK. Pete, let him know, say something quick. Let's get to it.
I'm over for a week on vacation, and what a week I've had. Wow. And I brought you the dub. I told you
did.
I was gonna do it. Oh, yes. It wasn't just any old win, though, was it? It was a thrashing. Yes.
No doubt.
It was great.
Christy Acutie's in the building. Christy, let him know what's good, baby.
Hey, so we've changed your flight, Pete. You are staying here infinitely. You're not allowed to leave the U.S. because guess what? You're a good luck charm. So you can't go anywhere. The Barkers are staying in America.
No doubt.
You best start a GoFundMe page then.
All right, y'all, let's get to it. Wow. I have some esteemed guests. One of these guys is returning. He's an NFL legend. And I got another NFL legend for you guys today. These guys were really originally a part of the Dawg Pound. They helped formulate and build what we love and believe in today. Let me introduce this brother real quick. Felix Wright is in the building. Felix, let him know what's good, baby. And my next guest.
What's going on?
No doubt. And my next guest, this man needs no introduction as well, and this is his third appearance on TMDE. Anthony Griggs is back in the building. Anthony, let him know what's good, baby.
What's going on? What's going on, Browns fans?
I'm so excited you guys are here.
Wow. All right, y'all. We got to get to it. I got some questions I like to ask y'all, and I want to always keep it organic. Now, as we kind of discussed, some people want to believe that Art Modell should be in the Hall of Fame. I want to ask you guys as former players, and just whatever you want to throw out is whatever you want to throw out. Do you believe Art Modell deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? Which one of you guys want to go first?
I'll go first.
All right. All right, Felix.
As far as the Hall of Fame goes, I'm not sure about the Hall of Fame and what the requirements is. I know that he's won a Super Bowl as an owner with the Ravens, but as far as I guess as an ownership, for me it doesn't really matter one way or another if he's in the Hall of Fame or not. I just know that when I played for him, everything he said he was going to do, he did. And so I know that a lot of people in Cleveland are upset or were upset with Art Modell because he had moved the team. But if you're a business person, you got to understand the reason why he left, because he was getting offered a new stadium and he was getting offered a lot more money. So I think he was, I think as a business person, maybe he was kind of taken advantage of here in Cleveland because, we built new stadiums here, but they declined to really build one for the Browns, and I always thought the Browns were the team here in Cleveland. So I liked Art, and I wouldn't be in Cleveland if it wasn't for him.
All right, AG, how do you feel, my brother?
I think some of the same things when you play for a guy. We're really not caught up in the fanaticism of it all. I don't look at it as a business aspect of it. He never did anything that I really thought was never did anything while we were playing there. I totally understand as a Browns fan and what it can mean to you. But I guess I just have to let people understand that when you're a player, you're not really his fanaticism doesn't play into it. You're just playing. Doing your craft, and that's why the trade, and we don't get you get attached, you want to win, but that's the common theme of it. I believe he wanted to win. I believe I think the shrewd businessman that he was, he did what he did. I'm not behind those closed doors, doesn't have my cell phone. I don't know what made him do those things, but he pulled the switch, and I think he's going to get in at some point. Now, he's going to get in at some point. That's for sure. I really believe that. It's going to be the people who are just upset that he moved the team, he left our team, and what he did to Cleveland. And I think that that's going to be the thing that people will remember. But there's a lot of things that he did before that. So, for us as players, I don't even know if it really matters. It really doesn't even matter. We don't get that. I'm not that much attached to too many things going in the Hall of Fame except the guys maybe I played with.
Yeah.
Now I will say,
Mhm.
because our co-host Aaron, who is not with us, he believes, and a lot of us do, that there is a curse on the team. One of his theories is that we as fans need to let go of that hurt and that hatred for Art Modell and realize that, you know, he did it as a business decision, just like when LeBron left Cleveland the first time. It was a business decision. So we need to, you know, come to that realization and also recognize that every single thing that has happened in our lives has led up to this very moment right here, right now. Whether it was Art Modell selling the team, or me and Pete meeting on Facebook, or, you know, whatever. Every single thing has led us to right here, right now. So maybe we all needed this to happen. Maybe it was written in the stars before we ever even knew that Art Modell was going to sell the Browns. They were going to be the Baltimore Ravens. They were going to win a Super Bowl. And now it's our turn. It's our turn to let go of that, realize that we are here, we are now. We can't change the past. We got to accept it. Move on.
Nice. Whoa.
What was that? Pete, how you feel about it real quick, man?
From a fan's point of view, I would have said completely hatred for what he did. He took our team away from us. It was, but I understand over the years
It had to happen.
diluted a bit, and it's a business decision. NFL,
Yeah.
not for long. It's a business, and I get that. So, the first time I heard Aaron say that, I thought, no, you can't do this. But the more I thought about this, I realized maybe he's got something. Maybe it's time to let go of that hatred. Maybe it's time to move on, you know?
Yeah, well.
Look, go forward. Don't look what's behind. You can't change that. All you can do is change what's in front of you. And I'm prepared. Yeah, I think he's right. I think Aaron's got a point.
This is true. I'm gonna say this before we move on real quick.
Oh, okay.
I'm still on the fence about this whole thing. You know,
No, you're not. We're gonna push you on our side.
I talked to a couple broadcasters. I'm not gonna say their names because I promised them I wouldn't say. They said no, flat out no. He's a bad businessman. I was like, oh, and you know, and that kind of just put a damper in my spirits. But I'm gonna leave it at that. All right,
Would
y'all.
they be where they are today if that didn't happen?
Christy,
Probably
it is.
not.
It is.
I know
what
it is. We can't change it.
All right, y'all. All
Thankful
right.
for what we have now.
No doubt. All right, y'all. As you well know, the Browns are 3-5 right now. I want to ask Felix and AG, recap what went right last night that's been going wrong for the whole season so far. I need to get you guys input. AG, let's hear what you got to say first. AG.
Well, I like the fact that they had like a game plan at the end. It seemed like they were managing the clock. They made some big plays. I saw the offense doing some things they haven't done before. That's, you know, making the reads, blocking, giving them time. The running game, they started emphasizing the running game when they had to eat up the clock. I'm not so much worried about the first 3 quarters as much, but I saw the same team doing the same things, but it just their defense ramped up a little bit. But towards the end of the game, I was like, okay, I just started calculating how far away is Cincinnati. They need 3 touchdowns, they need 2, and they can still do it. So I was like that. And then I saw them do some things like eat up the clock, and I saw that they changed up some plays. They were actually, you know, staying in bounds and things like that. I was kind of like, you know, before they were running out of bounds, doing pass plays, just playing for the other team stuff. So it was really good to see. And they did it with such confidence that everybody's got to take them serious now. They beat a good team. They beat a good team and a good quarterback. And that sent reverberations throughout the league. Like, whoa, it was on national TV. Everybody saw how they did it. And they saw the defense. They saw the offense. They saw some powerhouse. And they saw what Amari Cooper and a quarterback can do. And I loved it. Loved it every step of the way.
All right. Felix, what's your opinion, my brother?
Well, I think we finally showed up on defense. You know, defense was supposed to be a real strong point for us this season, and they haven't really lived up to it. They always play well against the Bengals for whatever reason. Joe Burrow has never beat us. But anytime you get multiple sacks and you get interceptions and you turn the ball over and get the ball back to your offense, it does wonders. I think our offense has been better than maybe what we expected it to be. Because with Pruitt, kind of holding it down. Okay, he's made a few mistakes at the end of a few games, but that happens. But I think our defense has been a disappointment. I think that on national TV they made it right, and hopefully they can keep that same momentum going. And what I'm hoping for is that our head coach stays with the plan, figures it out. That our strong points of our team is Nick Chubb, and I think that he needs to. I know that they're kind of managing his workload, but if he's your best player, you got to use him up. And I think we used him correctly last night. I don't think we've used him correctly in the previous 7 games. But hopefully, we all learned a lesson last night. Is that if we use the personnel that we have correctly, we're going to be successful. If we leave Cooper as a wide receiver, we're not going to have an interception there. You know what I'm saying? If we use as often as we should, he should get a minimum of 20 to 25 carries a game. I mean, he's averaging over 100 yards per game just on 13 and 14 carries. So, and I'm glad that we kept Kareem Hunt on board. I think those two guys work.
I had to.
And I just think that I think we made another addition on defense today. So I'm just hoping we just follow suit, and we're going to get some guys back. We're going to get Denzel Ward back hopefully next week. We got a bye week, so in 2 weeks he should be ready to go and be healthy, because the schedule we have for the remainder of the season is not easy. So we'll really figure out if we learned a lesson from what we did last night, and just keep that momentum going. And that's why we're paying the big bucks, to manage it and get it correct.
Correct. All right, Chrissy, what you got to say real quick before we move on? Oh, Chrissy, we can't hear a word you said.
I was ringing my cowbell, so I turned my mic down. I didn't want to. That's what I got to say about that. I'm so happy. They finally did it. They ran the ball. Kareem got a lot of touches too. He didn't score. I know his dad said he wanted to score, but Junior did his job. He ran the ball like he needed to. And Emerson Jr., oh my God, another junior on our team that was kicking butt last night and taking names, all those tackles on defense. Like, finally, did they listen to us, Marcus? Did they hear us say that we needed a sense of urgency in our defense?
I hope so, because I've been complaining about Joe Woods. I'm just telling y'all, brothers, I got a problem with Joe Woods. I've had this problem with him for the last couple of years. I don't care too much. You guys are familiar with these defenses, these 5-2s, these 4-2-4s, and 4-3.
I'm still talking.
With these cover,
how they do last night, though?
Prevent, and I just don't understand what he be thinking about sometimes.
Stop it.
In these situations.
Last night was perfect. Stop being negative. They did great last night. They did
what are you gonna do in Miami? What is he gonna do in Miami?
Hopefully the same shit. Because I want to be there and see the same game.
Yeah,
right,
I don't want to be there in Miami. AG, with a Browns jersey on, looking stupid, coming out the studio, somebody throwing beer bottles at me, bottle game. I ain't got time for that.
Well, I can tell you that Felix understands.
Oh no!
And I'm saying that the game planning, the amount of time the coaches put in to strategize the game, to get an idea and a schematic for the game, you cannot believe how much they do that. And I know it, the coaches that we had and the time that goes into it. What it looks like on game day is a game. It's a game. So you make a move, I make a counter move. You make a move, I counter moves, and all that. But the time they put in to look at somebody's tendencies, look at the players' tendencies, look at all the stats, the crunching numbers. And when they call a play, when they call a defensive play and offensive play, it is not just random. This isn't high school ball or pee-wee ball. Each play is scrutinized, even after the game, what the defense was. We called it in this situation, in this place, at this part of the field, and based on the personnel that we were going against, who's on offense, they go into a three receiver or a 4 wide or a 5 or empty set, whatever. Why did we call that? And you got to be accountable to it. And there's a lot of and you have to be accountable for your play as a player. But the coaches are going to be held to the same esteem when they get called into the head coach and see if they should have done that.
I agree with you, Anthony. Those coaches do put in a lot of work. My thoughts on Joe Woods, I don't know him personally, but I know that he puts in a lot of work, and he came from a good organization in San Francisco. But I know a lot of people have been kind of unsatisfied with what he's done thus far until last night. But I think that there's a lot of players that haven't played up to their ability.
Exactly.
I think we expected a lot more out of our secondary. I think we expected a lot more out of our front four as well. And
I've been saying the same thing for weeks.
We've been struggling there.
Yeah.
Mr. Wright,
All right.
I think you should go back and watch the last episode of TMD that I did with Marcus, because I even said that exact same thing. Like, you can be a coach and call all the plays you want, but to make the players actually tackle, that's something else. You can't control that. You don't have the controller in your hand like a video game. So that's up to the players to do. And they finally got it down. I don't know if that tackling class worked the other week or not. They did it. They were wrapping people's legs up. They were not letting people go. It was great. So
About time.
Well, there was a couple of comments that were made last week by John Johnson.
Yep.
And he had stated that, he didn't really call out any guys on the team, but what he said is that, our job is just not while we're here. We got to be able to, also pay attention to the game plan when you're out of here. Spend more time doing what you do. When you're in season, you're made handsomely to know the tendencies, to know exactly what that opponent's trying to do to you. And I really believe that, they would put, a lot of players, we got a young team, and that they just weren't putting in the work. And I think, last night, you could tell they put in the work because they were making plays. They were anticipating tipped balls, stripping the ball, sacks. It's amazing when you spend time and study when you're away from the facility to get the tendencies down, to run those routes for them as a defensive back, to be in the right position. It makes a difference. And maybe yesterday's game taught them a lesson that, hey, if you do these things, you're going to have some success. And I think that's the reason back in the 80s why we were so good is because we were students of the game.
Homework.
And we knew exactly what our opponent wanted to do to us, how they wanted to attack us, and we were actually running routes for them. So I think that's the reason why we were so successful in back in the 80s. And so you look at those teams like Philadelphia and Buffalo, they are well-prepared teams, and you can see it on the field. So it just doesn't happen by chance. You got to work at your craft and perfect that craft. And that's the reason why you get paid the way you do, to spend time to perfect it and have success. And last night we had success. And I think that's because John Johnson maybe called out a few people, not by name, but they actually did spend more time studying the game plan and figured out why they want to attack them this certain way.
Yeah. Pete's got to say something real quick, and we're going to move on to the last question.
Just a quick point, really. I mean, the absolute privilege to be in the crowd to watch it, but probably the biggest cheer of the whole evening apart from the final whistle, when we won the game, was when Jacoby Brissett decided he would run the ball into the end zone.
Yes.
And he laid a post to rest there, and he even said so in his presser as well. His presser, the biggest cheer of the night, and I'm so pleased for him because this guy knows that when Watson's fit, he's going to be back up. Okay, and he's standing up. I love the man for that. Okay, and he was the top-rated quarterback of the whole week.
Yeah.
That's
wow. Yeah,
that's a fact.
His numbers were better than Lamar's last weekend too.
No doubt.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We got to get it. Felix got to get something to eat. We holding him up. We don't want to. I know his stomach probably grumpy.
Mr. Wright's gonna starve to
AG
death.
got home. I know he ready to eat. So, last question for you guys, real quick. What's the expectation for the rest of the season? Real quick. What do you guys expect the Browns can do? Can we get to the playoffs? Can we survive the season? Can the fans? I know there's a lot. I'm just going to ask you guys. I'm going to shut up. What's the expectation from both of you guys?
Well, my expectations is that they got to reverse the record of what they did. They went 3-5. They got to change it up and win a minimum of 5 games to get into the playoffs. So, I think to get into the playoffs, we got to win, double-digit numbers. It's either going to be 10 to 11 games that we have to win. Right now, we're just 2 games that they got in first place. So that can change very quickly here in the next couple of weeks if we remain to win. Our schedule's not easy. We got some really tough games coming up. And so, which will also determine on how you got to beat the good teams to get to the playoffs anyway, because that's all that's there in the playoffs. So, I think that I predict that we could win, go 5-3 or 6-2 if they play like they played last night.
AG, what you think?
I think that's exactly it. The expectation is what the players feel their expectation is of what they did last night. That the bar has been raised a little bit, and they got to feel they can raise it up even higher. They got to feel that we can't go backwards. We got to prepare the same way, and even more so. It's not a matter of just looking at the schedule sometimes and going, we play it's going to be a hard schedule. Every team in the NFL is good. And so when you play this week, there's only 18 games, and so every game is crucial at this point in November and December. But now that you have played at a certain level, you can't look at that as a freak or as an aberration. You got to look at it as, this is what we can do, and we can be better than what we showed last night. Last night wasn't the bar. That was just a taste of what it is. So you got to, as a player, feel that not that you've arrived or you've done anything, but you got to go past that. You got to put in more time than what you even did last night. You cannot. Success, it could probably be your worst enemy to make you think that you're something special. You got to go into it and feel that we got to prove to ourselves that we can play higher than what we did last night. And I think that's where you're going to get, because the bar for the veterans, for young guys, has got to be the same. What you saw last night, you saw some young guys stepping up and did some things, and that goes a long way. You look at each and just take each game. Don't worry about playoffs right now. Don't worry about a record right now. You just play the game. That's all you do. Play it up to the level of your high performance. You start thinking about the game and start thinking about, we got to get this record, or we got to do this. You'll get lost in the sauce.
Yeah, every week you got to go 1-0.
Right. Real quick, Christy, real quick, we up against it.
Got to go 1-0 every weekend, right? So when we head to Miami, we got to come out of there 1-0.
Pete, real quick, what you got?
I would say one game at a time. One game at a time. What you've got, what is a must do, is win your own divisional games. Okay?
Right.
Because you could be a division winner with an 8-9 record. You could, or a 9-8 record. Yep. You get to the playoffs, win your divisional games, prioritize. So we're kind of doing.
So right, Pete.
Should have beaten the Baltimores, but
yeah.
Hey, let it go.
So beat the Steelers.
What happens next week?
Well,
it counts. Forget what's happened. It's what happens next week.
I'm gonna say this before we got 3 more games with Brissett left. If we can get 2 out of them 3, I just don't see them beating Buffalo. But I call it the clown factor because the Browns do things that you lose when you're supposed to lose and you win you're supposed to win. I hope for God
Any
we
given
can
Sunday.
pull out the Buffalo win.
And we still don't get the calls. We still don't get the calls.
Right?
They get a first down, and for whatever reason, they just move the ball back. No, we didn't get it. We don't get the call. Let's not even get into. Let's not even get into the whole conspiracy.
Yeah, you guys know you guys are veterans. Y'all know you can't let the referees decide the game. You got to come in, you got to dominate, and make decisive decisions. And I just felt that's where Stefanski been fucking up. It is what it is. All right, y'all, man. Felix got to eat, man. He got to eat. They got to eat, y'all. Hey, I appreciate y'all. No doubt. I like to thank Felix Wright and Anthony Griggs for coming. The Dog Pound is really in the building. And it is what it is. And like I say every week, go Browns, bitches. And we'll see y'all next week.
AG, see you in 2 weeks.
You got it.
No, Felix will be down there for the game too, right? Felix, you be down there for the game too, right?
Well, I don't know yet. We'll have to talk.
Okay, I got you.